In 1968, amidst the height of the relentless war between the Pathet Lao, the North Vietnamese, and the Hmong in the secret war of Laos, fierce battles were fought across the rugged mountains and small villages. In this tumultuous time, there was a key base chosen by General Vang Pao as his command center and training ground for Hmong soldiers, and here, nestled amidst the emerald green mountains and valleys, lay the village of Long Cheng, also known as Luj Sib. Among the many fighters that trained here was a young soldier named Chong Neng, known by everyone as one of the most skilled warriors. Brave, loyal, and fearless, he never backed away from danger and always led by example. He was respected by his fellow soldiers and was considered a true hero of the Hmong people. But little did he know that soon he would be called upon to lead a mission that would test his skills and bravery like never before. The North Vietnamese forces had built a major base camp deep in the forest at Txooj Neeb. This base had become their lifeline, a hub for supplying and staging attacks on the Hmong villages. The constant threat of attack from this base had become a burden on the Hmong, and it was clear that something had to be done. General Vang Pao knew that the only way to protect his people was to destroy the base at Txooj Neeb, so he called upon his most trusted and capable warrior, Chong Neng, to lead a unit of soldiers on a mission to strike and seize the Pato's stronghold. News of the upcoming mission quickly spread through Long Keng, causing a mix of emotions among the villagers. Fear hung heavy in the air, but so did pride and hope, for they knew that their best and bravest would be undertaking this perilous journey. On the day of the mission, the entire village turned out to see off Chong Neng and his men. Women and children waved from the sidelines, while older men stood with heads bowed in solemn respect. Even the bravest of warriors could not help but feel a twinge of fear at the thought of what lay ahead. As the sun rose, bathing the village in a golden glow, it was time for Chong Neng's unit to depart. With heavy steps, they marched out of the village, each man carrying the weight of not just their mission, but the hopes and dreams of an entire community on their shoulders. Long Cheng echoed with the determined steps of the soldiers as they made their way through the dense foliage. The lush greenery of the jungle concealed their movements, providing both cover and challenge as they ventured deeper into the heart of the wilderness. Chong Neng at the forefront held his head high, his eyes focused on the mission ahead. His steps were sure, his movements precise, a testament to his years of training and experience. Behind him, his unit moved with equal determination, their camaraderie forged in the fires of countless battles. Theirs was a bond of trust and brotherhood, a silent understanding that had developed over months of fighting side by side. Their weapons glistened under the dappled sunlight filtering through the thick canopy above, each one a tool of defense, a symbol of their unwavering commitment to their people and their homeland. As they ventured deeper into the unknown, the sounds of the jungle seemed to fade away, replaced by the steady rhythm of their march. With each step, they inched closer to their objective, the looming presence of the North Vietnamese base at Txooj Neeb serving as a constant reminder of the challenge that awaited them. After several hours of marching, the team arrived at a clearing near the base. It was time to assess their options and plan their attack. Strategizing in the shadows under the cloak of the dense jungle canopy, Chong Neng and his officers huddled together, their voices hushed but determined. The fate of Long Keng and the hopes of their people rested on the success of their mission. With maps spread out on the forest floor, they studied every inch of the terrain around Padosi Base, searching for weaknesses, advantages, and potential pitfalls. Each man brought his unique experience and knowledge to the table, their collective wisdom forming a shield against the uncertainties of the mission. Chong Neng, with his keen intellect and battle-hardened instincts, guided the discussion, his eyes gleaming with strategic brilliance. His years of military training and leadership experience shone through as he navigated the complexities of the planned attack. They discussed the layout of the base, the strength of its defenses, and the best approach to ensure minimal casualties and maximum impact. Every possible scenario was examined, every contingency planned for. The officers listened intently, their faces etched with concentration as they absorbed the details of the strategy. Questions were asked, suggestions offered, and doubts cleared, leaving no room for error or oversight. Finally, after what felt like hours of intense deliberation, a plan began to take shape. It was a daring strategy, one that required precision, courage, and flawless execution. But in the hushed tones of the jungle, it seemed like the only viable option, the best chance they had at destroying the base and securing the safety of Long Keng. As the last rays of daylight filtered through the trees, they emerged from their huddle, their faces now set with grim determination. The plan was in motion, advancing into the light as darkness descended upon the jungle, shrouding the forest in an eerie silence. Txooj Neeb's unit moved into position, their silhouettes stark against the backdrop of the moonlit sky. Each step was measured, each movement calculated as they closed in on their target. The air was thick with anticipation, the only sound the rustle of leaves underfoot and the distant calls of nocturnal birds. Suddenly, a twig snapped, a gunshot shattered the night, the element of surprise broken. The battle for Padosi base was about to begin. Adrenaline surged through the veins of the soldiers as they sprang into action, their years of training kicking in. They took up their positions, forming a well-coordinated unit of attack. The assault was swift and precise, a testament to the meticulous planning and teamwork that had gone into this operation. Guns roared, echoing through the dense foliage as the Hmong soldiers engaged the enemy. The air filled with the exchange of bullets, each shot charged with the intensity of a life hanging in the balance. Amidst the chaos of battle, Txooj Neeb stood firm. His voice rang out, sharp and clear, issuing commands, coordinating attacks, and boosting the morale of his men. His bravery and leadership serving as a beacon in the midst of the raging storm. The North Vietnamese soldiers, caught off guard by the ferocity and coordination of the attack, struggled to regroup. Despite their valiant efforts, they were no match for the Hmong's superior tactics and unyielding spirit. As the battle intensified, Txooj Neeb and his men pressed forward. They fought with the skill and precision of seasoned veterans, their determination fueled by their duty to their people and their homeland. With each passing moment, the tide of battle turned more in the Hmong's favor. The once proud defenders of Pados found themselves on the brink of defeat. Seizing the momentum, victory at Paj Duz came at the tip of the bayonet, the culmination of weeks of planning and the fury of a people pushed to the edge. The sight that greeted Txooj Neeb as he led his troops into the base was one of utter devastation. Weapon caches lay scattered and destroyed, supply lines broken, and enemy strongholds in ruins. The North Vietnamese soldiers, demoralized and exhausted, had fled into the surrounding wilderness, abandoning their posts and leaving behind a legacy of destruction. A hush fell over the victors as they surveyed the scene, the magnitude of their accomplishment sinking in. The air, thick with the smell of gunpowder and the silence of a battle won, was a testament to the ferocity of the fight. The news of the successful mission spread like wildfire through the mountains and valleys, reaching the ears of villagers who had been living in fear for far too long. Celebrations erupted in Long Keng. The people, their faces lit with joy and relief, poured into the streets. Music filled the air, drums pounded and joyous shouts echoed, each celebrating the return of peace and security to their lives. For Txooj Neeb and his men, they were greeted as heroes. The village elders, their faces creased with smiles, bestowed upon them honors and blessings, recognizing their bravery and sacrifice. But for Txooj Neeb, the true reward was the sight of the villagers, their lives forever changed for the better because of their actions. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the village, Txooj Neeb stood at the edge of town, his gaze fixed on the distant hills. The memory of the fallen, both friend and foe, was heavy on his heart. The victory at Paj Duz was a triumph not just for Long Keng, but for all those who had suffered at the hands of the North Vietnamese. That day, Txooj Neeb and his men had defended more than just a village. They had defended the very soul of their people. Back in Longcheng, the festivities continued late into the night, the laughter and music blending with the chirping of crickets and the distant call of owls. Around a crackling fire, the villagers shared stories of the battle, their voices filled with awe and admiration for the Hmong soldiers who had risked everything to bring them peace. And as the stars twinkled above, casting a magical glow on the jubilant crowd, one story stood out, the tale of Txooj Neeb, a young Hmong warrior who had proven that courage and determination knew no bounds. From that day forward, Txooj Neeb's name echoed through the ages in Hmong lore, becoming synonymous with bravery, loyalty, and unwavering dedication to one's homeland. The victory at Padosi served as a beacon of hope for the Hmong people, reminding them that even in the darkest of times, courage and unity could pave the way to victory. And so the legend of Txooj Neeb, the hero of Longcheng, was passed down through generations, ensuring that his name lived on as a symbol of resilience and triumph in the face of adversity.